Salutations everybody, this is IgbarVonSquid making a splash today with my Gavel contest submission. What I have created here is a proof of concept of my idea, improved boss fights. Boss fights in Windcraft currently feel very one-sided. You have 4 spells and a melee hit, while bosses have 1 spell and a melee hit. It's far too easy to just trap them in a corner, spam spells, and dodge their only real attack method. Bosses do not feel like bosses, they feel like something to be grinded over and over until you complete the objective. What I have done is make a boss mob that is 8 spells, each that require a different method to deal with. By doing this, the fight becomes more interesting, making the boss really feel like a boss and not a mob that has a ton of health. The 8 spells are in 2 tiers, regulars and specials. Specials tend to look cooler, but other than that, they're not really that different damage-wise. The regular spells are as follows: Sword Strike, Ground Quake, Summons, and Angelic Shield. When he uses the Sword Strike, the sword turns into a gold sword halfway through the spell charge up. Once it's complete, it turns diamond, and he gets a big speed boost charging at you for a heavily damaging attack. Using Ground Quake, he jumps and then slams into the ground, doing heavy damage if you were to stand next to him, and creates a moving ground that targets you. The moving ground dies after a few seconds, but it hits a little hard and has a good knockback. Using summons, he summons a mini-boss that dies in one hit but moves pretty quickly. Getting hit will cause fire damage, making it important to kill it fast. It will not die on its own. Using Angelic Shield, his armor changes to Diamond with Thorns 3, meaning any hits to him will do little damage and do decent damage to yourself. The armor will usually fade away by the time of the next spell cast. Moving on to specials, he has Poison Bombs, Thunder Strike, Pain Orbs, and Shadow Clone. When he uses the Poison Bombs, he summons 4 flying bombs in a row that will eventually explode after they've lived for a certain amount of time. When they explode, you will be infected with Poison 2 for a few seconds if you're within the blast radius. Using the Thunder Strike, particles will begin to show up around the arena, which become more defined after a few seconds, and then finally a lightning bolt comes down and strikes the spot, doing moderate damage if you were to stand too close. Using the Pain Orbs, he summons 3 orbs that will circle and target you, doing light damage that add for some hefty damage, making it important to try not to get targeted as the attack is mostly undodgeable. Finally, when he uses the Shadow Clone, he creates clones of himself that die in one hit. If you take too long to kill them, they'll be able to use spells along with the real boss. They will not die on their own, requiring you to kill them quickly. Some important things to note are that while the spells are charging, they'll get a speed debuff, but also damage immunity. If you attack them while a spell is charging, it will do laughable damage, making it useless to try. Upon being killed, the sky will turn darker, the floor will begin to diminish, and a second form spawns. The second form is similar to the first, but has less health and stronger attacks. The Sword Strike now turns into a sword teleport that's impossible to dodge. The Ground Quake is stronger and creates 2 moving grounds that last a bit longer and hit harder. The Summons will now summon 2 mini-bosses with fire swords, and the Angelic Shield will last longer. As for the specials, the Poison Bombs all summon at once and have a larger blast radius. The Thunder Strike is a one-hit kill and has a bigger blast radius, although it won't one-hit kill you if you have full health. The Pain Orbs last longer and hurt more, and there's one more clone when he uses the Shadow Clone. The boss is balanced towards vanilla Minecraft, but it would obviously need some tweaks were it to appear in Wind. Also, if it were to appear in Wind, it would be better as a secret boss. Secret bosses in games are known to be stronger than the rest of the bosses, and as they are unrelated to any quest or mission, are only there for you to defeat. This removes the mindset of grinding it, and more towards a test of strength, as bosses should be. Best case scenario is that all bosses become improved with additional spells added to their abilities, and perhaps different ways to defeat. For example, the boss of Floor 6 on Tower of Ascension will self-explode after a while. This adds a factor of time into the fight, creating a pretty tense battle. Thank you for watching, and I hope this will provide some improvements to the current boss system.